Dozens are displaced after an apartment fire in District Heights. Good evening. This is CTV News. I'm Sonia Shrivastava. Thank you for joining us. Some local residents are displaced after an apartment fire Tuesday night. The blaze happened in the 1900 block of Rochelle Avenue. It took about 75 firefighters to combat the blaze. No serious injuries were reported. A temporary shelter is open at Flowers High School for displaced residents, along with a Prince George's bus for residents to use to run important errands.
Evacuate the apartment. We sat across the street. Everybody was sad, crying, losing their house.
I'm not really worried about clothes being damaged or family pictures. As long as everybody got out okay, family, that's it. You know, you kind of adapt because you just had trauma, and you're just trying to make it through the day.
Meanwhile, Prince George's police are praising a lieutenant who rescued and alerted several residents who were asleep during the time of the incident.
I saw people through the shade, so I knew they were in there, but they wouldn't come to the door. So we had to kick the door open and evacuate them out of the building, then kick the upstairs doors in, and we found the older woman in the back bedroom sleeping. So we quickly woke her up and got her out of the building. There's no heroes, no this or that. It's just a matter of trying to get everybody out.
The fire appears to have started on the balcony of one of the apartments on the first floor on the rear side of this building. It traveled up the outside of the building, bypassing anyone's smoke alarms or the building alarms until it got up into the roof area. Started burning the roof and then started banking back down with that high heat and smoke. And the limited visibility of the rear of this building probably prevented anyone from calling 911 sooner.
21 units were affected by the fire. Damages are estimated at $500,000. Well, it's the most comprehensive assessment to date of what Prince Georgians want in a new healthcare system. The Public Health Impact Study conducted by the University of Maryland is officially released today. Officials say it's a step forward in the right direction. 1,000 Prince Georgians were randomly surveyed on how health care can be improved in the county. Officials say those results help lay a foundation on what the facility will offer and look like.
The power of this report is the voice of the people. Over 1,000 randomly selected respondents in the county are a very strong indication of where we've been and where we are going.
There are a lot of discussions about hospital buildings out there in the country. This is the only discussion that I know about that is framed with a public health perspective.
The study found severe inequities and racial disparities. It also found there weren't enough doctors in the county compared to the population. The county could support 61 more primary care physicians and 31 new dentists. The highest need is in the southern part of the county. The finding also states that residents face higher rates of chronic diseases such as diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, cancer than neighboring counties, and in some instances than state levels.
Red indicates an insufficient number of providers. About a third of the county residents live in areas where there's a high need for primary care providers, and green indicates a sufficient number of these providers.
What's wrong in Prince George's County? There have been reports about that. There are some significant health challenges here, but what can be put in place to address it? How do you translate between the problems that we have and the solutions? And the report that they've done is really extraordinary. It identifies some of those problems, it puts them on a map, and it talks about where a primary care network needs to be built.
As officials look into where to build the new facilities, some environmental groups say the closer to the metro, the better.
We want to make this as accessible as possible. We have a huge workforce that needs to reach this regional medical center. We have a lot of people who might not be able to find a car to drive there. We need to give people better transportation options and also build on the boost that a metro gives to spin-off economic development.
Now, officials say a certificate of need would have to be turned into the state by 2013, and the facility should be up and running by 2017. Well, meanwhile, the Prince County Executive Sharon Baker is introducing legislation to create an office for ethics and accountability. Baker says the office will be independent and led by an executive director. The goal is to have an office that serves as an entry point for tip information and evidence of illegal acts.
I'm very appreciative of the council to take on this bill, to study it, and to strengthen our ethics office in Prince George's County, bringing in a full-time executive director, putting more money in the state's attorney's office so that for violations we can have them prosecuted and referred to the state's attorney's office. The type of person we're looking for in the as the executive director should be somebody, former prosecutor, former judge, someone whose background in accounting or legal background is around ethics and responsibility.
And Baker says so far no one has been chosen to lead the office. A 21-year-old male who was pulled from the bottom of a Laurel Pond yesterday evening has died. According to authorities, Khalif Omar Richardson went for a swim around 8:45 p.m. but never returned. Richardson was found unresponsive and taken to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead. County officials say the water in the pond ranged from 2 to 4 feet deep. An investigation is now ongoing. Well, as we reported yesterday, the American Civil Liberties Union is suing the Baltimore Police Department. The ACLU is trying to force law enforcement agencies to develop and implement a policy regarding citizens who videotape officers. CTV News has learned that Prince George's Police recently sent out an internal department directive stating that, quote, officers need to know while on official duty they should have no expectation of privacy while performing official duties. Citizens who choose to record officials have the right to do so as long as it does not interfere with police duties. The policy also stipulates that officers cannot demand or confiscate any recording device if it is not impeding a police incident. The department says the new directive went into effect several months ago. Well, a Las Vegas company has its sights on downtown Baltimore as a location for a new casino. Caesars Entertainment could win a license as early as next week to construct and operate a new casino, which would be part of the famous Harrah's brand. Caesars says there are some provisions in Maryland's current gambling plan that they would like to see changed. For instance, a tax rate that would not exceed 14% on table games and an adjustment to the tax rate on slot machines. There is no official word on whether Governor Malley will call a special session to discuss a casino here in Prince George's. Well, the Maryland Comptroller's Office releases figures for alcohol and cigarette contraband violations today. The report reflects a welcome increase for arrests for the fiscal year 2012, which ended about a month ago. Agents arrested and charged 196 individuals for tobacco violations, resulting in the recovery of over 3,000 cigarettes valued at $2 million. In addition, 73 alcohol violations were given, with hundreds of stolen bottles of liquor and beer being recovered. The total value of alcohol recovered shot up to about $40,000. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Sonia Shrivastava.